the Boston Common on 420 with about 800 other students, and we put our foot down. And we let them know what was up. So that's what we're doing here again, you know. And so what I want to talk about right now is net neutrality. Does anybody know what net neutrality is? Okay, well, it's right on. It's the government's decision to maintain complete hands-off towards the internet. And that is what the name of the policy is. Recently, large companies like Verizon and cellular companies have requested the overturn of the net neutrality order on behalf of the United States government. They're taking that very seriously. There was a antitrust litigation case that was supposed to happen this last summer. It never ended up happening because apparently the DOJ can't figure out how to calculate bandwidth.
They can't figure out anything!
Yeah, that's right. They can't figure out anything. All right. So I don't know how much juice is on the PA system, so I got to do this. You know. So I'm just gonna. Do you guys want to hear some of my research over this?
Yeah.
Because it's a serious issue, and what I found here, you know, has pretty much changed some things in my life. So you know, it's just an essay. That's all I got today. All right. Controversies over the management and operation of utility companies are once more rising to the forefront of new millennium dialogue as firms are failing to meet with technological progress. Cell phones and laptops are old news in this day of tablet computing, smart television, voice recognition software that have artificial intelligent personalities. At the very heart of this progress is that which is synonymous with economics and the driving force of any society, communication. The long-awaited leap from simple voice conversations to instantaneous 1080p video feed of friends and loved ones from anywhere on the planet has arrived. Up to this point, hardware companies such as Apple, Motorola, HTC, and others have created expansion in new industries, partnering with connectivity providers such as Sprint, Comcast, and others. Consumers have boomed to this market, quickly ballooning it into the wireless sensation it is today. However, in recent years, connectivity providers operating in the private sector have developed a disincentive to invest in improving connectivity speeds. Even though the potential number of computations processed by hardware far exceeds the potential rate at which information is received using common consumer access channels. Additionally, firms have failed to open new markets through non-development of remote regions to provide adequate connectivity provision at a competitive and non-monopolistic price. The result of these actions has led to collusion by the dominant firms in the connectivity provisioning market as a result of an inelastic demand curve due to society's need to communicate. To utilize communication in order to transact commerce and therefore exist. The realization of this deadweight loss to society emerges as new technology has the ability to replace the old and improve our infrastructure through combining the three archaic technologies of cable, phone, and radio frequencies into one single digital fiber optic cable. Scientifically, utilizing light speed through a single fiber optic line has the proven capabilities of providing speeds well above equivalent to any technology now in place. Lack of development in fiber optic landline technology in general has led to spectrum traffic on wireless fidelity frequencies due to seemingly unplanned broadcast points in concentrated greater metropolitan, urban, and concentrated suburban environments that results in inefficient allocation of bandwidth and as a result, economic inefficiencies. Current potential speed thresholds of hardware far exceed the speed at which connectivity providers are implementing fiber optic technology with higher connectivity thresholds to meet the demands of technological advancement and national prosperity. This intuitively obvious breakdown recognizes the need for utilizing democratic government agencies to not only enforce the policy of net neutrality, as it is grossly inhibiting the technological boom and economic progress, but covertly review, act as a moderator and ensuring the implementation and regulation of bandwidth spectrum, fiber optic technology that will improve critical infrastructure, which we know isn't going to happen. Before being able to prove the deadweight loss is occurring in the market, we have to redefine the nature in which our definition of property rights must change from historical to localized. Therefore, my application of property rights is the actual scientific measurement of data, which is the bit, by showing that it is in fact the raw good that is most applicable to a consumer rather than agricultural ability, natural property, brand loyalty. Through using J. Buchanan's theory and coalition ideas to provide to each consumer the best option for converting status quo to an improved technology that will provide the best quantity at the fastest speed, lowest price, lowest disintegration of large, with no consideration for the disintegration of large companies. That means we do this because that's what is right. That's what's right there. That's the technology available. Companies which are now participating in collusion and predatory tactics have no consideration by the public body, as a company should have disintegrated by the nature of capitalistic mechanics, and then improved company should have replaced it, which would have created more jobs than the ones being lost by allowing the sick industry to continue. Large metropolitan areas like New York and Boston are areas in which large populations are residing and block relatively consequent to geographical distribution. As such, the ability for local, smaller municipalities to group together in their communities and implement fiber optic technology as a community goal is readily available. These local communities are afforded the ability to supply excellent internet provision to consumers within the area at an affordable price. The entire concentrated municipality is operating on the same bandwidth, whether it is publicly or privately provided. Instances of communities in these two cities have already implemented fiber optic technology and offer it as a competitor to cable, satellite, and DSL. The performance of fiber optic technology in these communities portray a scenario where a benefit-maximizing consumer will by nature decide that a very large majority of people within their immediate environment prefer to divide a single fiber optic landline with a premium broadcast point and divide up that broadcast point with its neighbors. So basically, you're sitting somewhere and your neighbor is operating on a wireless access point, and you guys are both having two different access points. They're overlapping. It's stupid. This doesn't really cost much. You can do it. It can be done easily. Due to the fact that America's capitalism is a token society and the increase of those tokens is the goal of its constituents, by nature itself, an entrepreneur who is willing to put in additional investment, I'm just going to keep it, I'm going to push reading this. His ability to provide, okay. By nature itself, an entrepreneur who is willing to put in additional investment and time and charge a little higher for his ability to provide better service cheaper than buildings and running along the roads, which they say is aesthetically unappealing and therefore degrades the real estate value. So these assholes themselves say that things like having 1 million satellites, attached to the side of buildings. You go in the hood, you see so many satellites just stacked on top of each other, pointing omnidirectional, and you could easily, remove those, install the future technology, allow people to grow, allow people to independently develop using the internet instead of controlling the amount of bandwidth data that is available and charging consumers out the ass. I personally was stuck in a cell region, because cellular phones are called cellular phones because they exist in this hexagonal region called a cell. So if you exist, and these cells are all across the United States, so if you exist in a cell that is going to be limited by the amount of connectivity of which they're going to provide you, then you're going to get extorted. The extortion amount can cost me, I got a bill personally for $1,400 for just exceeding my bandwidth usage. Now, bandwidth usage is simply a matter of broadcasting a binary signal from a cell tower to your phone. That costs absolutely nothing. So, I digress.
Why are we paying so much money?
Code should be free!
That's right. And net neutrality is what we're talking about. And so
my data belongs to me.
Things like YouTube are going to cost money. So how do you get something free, something powerful to cost money? This is how they do it. Net neutrality is going to get removed. Is obviously what I see the trends going in the market. The amount of investment in writing the new code for the digital signal transfer from the cell towers, which they claim is 5G. They use the term LTE, long-term evolution. It's an evolution of nothing. Any idiot can clearly see, any child could see, not even just anyone could see clearly that sending a signal through electronic radio frequencies through the air is not going to equal the amount of speed that you could get by the speed of light, which is a fiber optic cable. It's very cheap. It's plastic. The first cable that expanded that connected the communication of the world was a fiber optic cable that went under the ocean. So there you have it. That's how they're limiting the bandwidth. And soon, if you use YouTube at a place like at any Wi-Fi service, they'll track your code, then track your IP address, then they will charge you for the additional amount of bandwidth you used because you overused. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, man. I got cards, videos.
Pass that shit out!